Where you been, huh? Where you been? Hey y'all, welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. We got a couple of packages come in. I wanted to dig in. Actually, I done opened them and peeked in there. I couldn't resist it. And I didn't have time to film. It was actually two days ago when they came. But I've been out here working. I have added a few things, done a few different things out here that I wanted to do. Still got a lot I'm going to do. I did a reel on some of these updates, but I knew you guys at YouTube, you my bread and butter, you my favorite people, and I wanted to put together a pretty decent video and show kind of extensively what we have added and what is going on. I have spent a lot of time out here in the last 2 weeks. I have worked through a lot of my knife orders. I should be complete by middle of next week with the orders that I have. So if you want a knife, email me justinpeden@gmail.com. And this is one that I'm grinding on right now. And the blade, I'm working on getting my blades a lot better. I'm trying to perfect getting this ricasso back here even on both sides. I want to make sure my points are even, my grind lines are straight. Because when you start selling knives, I mean, you're going to do that. I want to make the best product I can make. So I'm experimenting with some new woods, which is part of what's in this box. So the things I have done with today, I just ran my wire, and I now have my knife shop on a whole separate breaker except my lights up here. My lights and this one grinder, I think, and that belt grinder is still on the other breaker, which is fine, and I probably will get that converted over here pretty soon. Basically, I put a box, and I'll come over here and I'll show you right quick. You can see right there. There's 4 plugs, and that runs 3 pieces of equipment plus over to my band saws and all that, puts them, and then I got a big fan over here, and it just shakes the whole building because I had it on a stand out there on the front porch. We had a bad storm, and it blew that stand over, and it bent the blades on this Dayton fan. It's a commercial fan, and well, I straightened it back up as best I could. It is a lot better than it was, but it still has a little bit of vibration. It just shakes this whole building. So a new blade for it's about $100, and I need to buy that, but I don't. I've got other priorities at the moment. So power is run. That was one huge thing, and I started to film doing it, but everything turns into a headache. I had to take all the fishing poles off the walls and pull plywood back out off around the breaker box to run it down in the wall. It was a major ordeal. So we got that done. I did that somewhat this morning. It's about dinner today. So I've been grinding. I got some new belts. I got belts coming. I've got the little, I thought that was a 2x42 grinder sitting on the floor right down there, but it's actually a 2x48 when I measured it. So my buddy that lives up the road that has been making knives for a long time, he's kind of mentoring me, helping me learn some things, helping me better my craft, giving me some tips, and really being a big help to me. And it is exciting for him, because when a man has spent 30 years of his life learning something, and he's, towards the end of his career, and I ain't saying he's fixing to quit, retire, nothing like that, but when you start getting 60, 70, 80 years old, you want to start passing knowledge down. And he would like to teach somebody everything that he knows, keep the craft alive. That's kind of the way that it works. You want to learn from somebody, and while I've got the opportunity to learn what I can from him, I want to do that. You can learn from people, especially people that's been doing it a long time. I haven't jumped into this thinking I already knew everything. I do know a good bit. I've been doing it for making knives on and off as a hobby for, Lord, probably 15 years. Just making 1 or 2 knives a year. So it has been exciting for him and got him motivated to get back into making them. He had kind of quit, so we learning some new stuff. And then I went and visited the other day with my buddy Tony Parker, and he said, "You need this anvil." And I looked, and he's got a Peter Wright anvil sitting over there. And I'll come in and show a little more, but the hardy hole right here is broke off. And he said, I can't use it because I use a hardy hole a lot. And y'all, this is a very good flat anvil, big to do all my forging. I'm going to pull the camera over here where you can see. So this anvil right here is, I have not even forged on it yet. I'm excited to forge, but it's been hot, and I've had a lot that I needed to get done before I started playing with this. But I needed this. This old anvil that I had is just to drop the bucket to it. And you see how mine is all beat off and around. I have made several knives on this anvil, and it's got a good hardy hole, but it's a small anvil. It's probably a 100-pound anvil. This one over here is 260 something pounds. I like to never got it in here by myself, but I did. So then I took the 3-burner forge that I had up here down. It's sitting around there. I hadn't thrown it away. This 2-burner works a little bit better, more efficiently. And I hooked up this 100-gallon gas bottle. It is sitting on 80% of gas. I've got enough gas to forge all winter. So anyway, after I left my buddy Tony Parker, I texted him the other day, y'all. And he's had a tragedy in his family since I was up there. And you may have seen a Facebook post. Mr. Tony's son was involved in an accident and passed away. So keep Mr. Tony Parker and his family in your prayers. Good friend of mine, has been very good to me. He's given me a leather sewing machine around there and give me a really good deal on this anvil. In fact, I have not paid him for it yet. He said, "You take it home, will you pay me when you can? You can't ask for better people than that." So keep them in your prayers, please. Next thing, I wanted to show you what I've got in these boxes. Now, Mr. Michael, and I hope I pronounced this last name right, Placence, sent me some. I wrote down, one of the boxes got some white maple in it. The other is, I don't know if you pronounce this Sapele or Sapele wood. Sapele. I had never heard of it. He sent me a picture, and I was like, yes. And this is a little patch knife I'm grinding. Somebody asked about a patch knife the other day that's sort of new to the channel. That's the difference in size in the patch knife. Now, this patch knife is actually a little bit shorter than the ones I normally sell. When I get this one ground, I'm probably going to send it to Uncle Sasquatch and let him play with it. I went ahead and drilled some holes in there. He said he had a hard time drilling the last one I sent him. I'm going to grind it out, send it to him, give him something to do in there in the air conditioner so he'll get, have him another knife to play with. So I want to show you what's in these boxes. This first box, the first thing I want to point out is for you safety police. He wrote me a note. He said, "I sent you some fog-proof safety glasses. Hopefully this makes the people that didn't know how to just change the channel happy when it comes to doing things the way you like to do them." So y'all, I am tickled to death over my fog-proof safety glasses. I love it. Hey, y'all happy now? So those of you that can't tell, it's ain't no lens on. So anyway, Sapele wood. Several blocks of this. Now, y'all, these boxes are heavy. This man spent a small fortune just shipping these here. So several pieces of it. He said they were left over from a project that he had. They're all cut nearly precisely the same length and just right for making knife handles. So that is what is in this box. So I'm going to take one and try to show you a little bit. I'm curious to see what it's going to look like in the light. You see these light spots? It has some coloring in it. I have not played with it. And then as you go down there, the grain is different. And then this is white maple. white wood, but hard and heavy. And look at the grain in that wood. So, I'm excited about all this. I can't wait to start on some projects with it. So in this box over here, he has sent me a couple of brushes to brush my oil on there with, and I need to find a place over here for hanging them. I like my stuff. Look at here. Let's hang them right up there. Because my wire brush, I got it over yonder. He sent me, he said, I want. This is one of the things right here that touched me the most. But it said, watch your fingers, watch your hands. You got these on, you can see where your fingers are, but it's still a nice pair of leather gloves, and I do use a lot of leather gloves, especially fooling with this forge and hot metal. So before I read the note, I want to show you some of this wood. This is all the Sapele wood, or Sapele, however you pronounce it. I do not know. I don't claim to know. Look at the grain in this. I don't know the best way to show y'all. And it has color. I can't wait to actually put a polish on it and sand it smooth and put some oil on it and really bring it out. And then when you look at the edges, there's the grain. So I'm going to cut it a couple of different ways to see. I got the boxes is full, so there's no shortage of the wood now. So I want to read y'all this, what he wrote here. He said, God, I pray that you bless this material in abundance as Justin crafts it into works of art. Let your light shine on him as you keep his eyes sharp and his hands steady. With each piece, I ask that you teach the hearts of each individual that receives a piece of his works of art. And as it's held in their hands, they can appreciate all the hard work and love put into every part of it. Protect them from the dangers of a sharp blade as you guide their hearts and hands with every use. And I want y'all to know that really touched me. So, Michael, thank you so much for this wood. I am excited about the adventure and the journey that we're going on. My wife has decided to really keep the pottery going. We're going to downsize a little bit. In other words, we're not going to shut down the wholesale. She wants to keep doing some of it. She's in there working, learning to make pottery. I'm helping her some. I'm going to still go in and make some stuff. But it's allowing me to be able to make a lot of knives and do what I'm doing out here. And I really enjoyed it. It's a little bit hot. I'm really ready for cool weather. So in the future, what I am going to do is extend this back part out. I'm going to take you right here and explain it. So y'all, I want to bring this roof line back. Now my chicken pen is obviously right here. But I want to move this saw, table saw and stuff to the back, on further back, which will require me bringing power on across out of that other box, which is no problem for me to hook into the box that I have out here now and extend power on around this building. So I want to move this saw back, and it'll allow me this winter to I've got a pot-bellied stove that I had in this shed for a long time. Now it's over in the skinning rack. We was going to hook it up in there, but my dad really didn't want to put a hole in the roof, and we got a gas heater that we can hook up in there. It works a whole lot better than having to build a fire when you're just going to skin a deer for 30 minutes to an hour and be done if you cut up meat or whatever. You cut the gas on, be warm while you're doing it, warm your fingers, and cut it off and go to the house. This, I'll be here all day. I can build a fire out here and just have something to warm around. And, of course, I'll be burning a heap of wood. Look like I'll be spending the rest of my life cutting firewood, because I got a fireplace on the back porch. I got a fireplace in the house. I got a wood stove in that shed. There's 3. And then I'm going to add one in here. I have 4 wood heaters I got to feed. But that's all right. I like to smell wood burn. I like to see smoke trickling out of a chimney. It makes me happy, happy, happy. So anyway, I'm going to bring that out, and it's going to open up a lot more space, allow me to build maybe some more workbenches or tables in there to mount some grinders and do some different things on. And then I am going on the other side of that doorway I walked through. and you can probably see it a little bit right there where I go in around the mother shed. I'm going to have to drop down and put some tin across like a header in there, because the rain blowed in and got on the belt grinder the last time it come a blowing rain. If it's just drizzling rain, it's no problem. The next thing, I'm going to have to build up out here along this front and raise that up some where the water, when it comes off of here, don't run into there. And I'm probably going to put a gutter up there. I'm going to have to. And then I'm going to put me some net wire all the way across there, and I'm going to wall it up where I can lock this thing up. Probably will put it on like make some doors out of it, because if I leave going hunting trips, being gone, if we off delivering pot or whatever, everybody watches me on YouTube and knows, hey, that old boy's gone, and I know what all he's got to share. And you know how them old boys are that don't like to work much, and they like your stuff as much as you do. Yeah. Well, we're gonna try to keep it where they, and then I'm gonna put that dog up in there that'll bite him on the leg and just chain her up in there. So that'll be my security system. Not to mention, we're gonna add cameras to everything that way. Keep honest folks honest anyway. So that is the future and the present of the knife shop. And I'm not going to start doing a whole lot of knife updates every day. This is just what I wanted to share with y'all, the anvil and the forge and the new setup and kind of how everything looks and what's going on. And then let you know, if you want a knife right now, the only things I am taking orders on are the Jonah knife, which is like this. All these blanks are copies, replicas, whatever you want to call them, the style of that knife that I carry most all the time. Now, as I get really into hunting this year and doing my buckskin and black powder, I'm probably going to tote my Bowie a lot. But then the patch knife, now I wanted to show you the patch knife pattern. Most of the patch knives I make and sell will actually be that long. So when you compare them to the Jonah blade, they're really not that much shorter. This one just happened to be, I've got, like, when I cut out my saw blades, I'll have some small pieces of steel, I'll show you, like this left off, and I just was experimenting, and I have done this with a couple of knives, and I just made a knife out of what I had left, because right now I am working on improving my skill and my way of doing things. Excuse me. So that is why this little knife come out that short. So I'm gonna put this, Uncle Sasquatch, you're gonna get this in the mail in a few days. Give you something to work on. So anyway, if you order a patch knife, this is the patch knife size. I can put whichever handles on there. Now the patch knife sheath, I lace it a little bit differently. It's just kind of something I started doing. I'm going to continue to do it where I lace around outside like a whip stitch all the way down it. Then this is the Jonah knife. These are $150 shipped with a sheath. These are $100 shipped with a sheath. So if you want one, you can email me at justinpeden@gmail. I'll throw that up on the screen so that you can type it off and get it correct. It'll be in the description box. Our links to our pottery is in the description box. Links to the Etsy store. Want to make mention of this while I'm talking. The Etsy store is where all of the Spirit of the Outdoors merchandise is. There's shirts in every color. There's bright shirts. There is some moisture wicking shirts that are for fishing. They're in bright colors. I think lime green, bright orange, and maybe a blue. I don't even know. I was eventually going to put like a fish on the back. We hadn't made all that happen. I'm going to probably add maybe there's hoodies on there coming up for fall and winter. I think there's hats. There's coffee cups that are some other company. It's not cups I made. There's metal cups, tumblers, different things on there that you can buy with Spirit of the Outdoors merchandise. Tags to go on the front of your truck. I don't know exactly what all. So get on there and look at the Etsy store. It has all of that. Spirit of the Outdoors, the links to the Amazon store is in there, and all that is just stuff that I use from Amazon on a regular basis. let you find it if you're curious of what I'm using, and then links to Southern Mud Pottery. I will still be making face mugs and fat bottom mugs. I hadn't made any recently. When I get some, most likely what I'm going to do is put those on the Etsy store. We may put them on Southern Mud Pottery. I don't know exactly yet. I tell you what I do. If you're interested in stuff like that, some of these oddball knives that I'm making that just, I made one of a kind, you need to be following the Facebook page, because that is usually where I post them first and we'll sell them. Usually they sell within a couple of hours, so they never really make it to YouTube because YouTube takes so long to get feedback back and forth. On Facebook, somebody can message me straightway on there and we can do business. I can send them a PayPal link. That is usually how I take all payment for everything, is through PayPal. Now the pottery, Michelle can do Square on the pottery. So anyway, that is updates on business and life as usual. It's time to sit down now and take a breath. I didn't talk till I run out of stuff to say. Thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one. Now I gotta find somewhere to store all this wood I got, because I got a stack of it over here. I better put it in the shed.